Welcome to the party. Welcome back to another video here on Dean's Collection, and today we're taking a look at something that I am very excited for, something that I have been looking forward to since it was first announced. I have been dreading Funko with Five Nights at Freddy's for so long. I have hated on it for a long time, and finally it went to a new home, and it looks like this is gonna be a good home for them. But today we are taking a look at the new Five Nights at Freddy's action figures. This is part of the Endo series by, drumroll please, you already know, it's Jazwares. Jazwares is the people who made this Five Nights at Freddy's set. Jazwares being the weirdest choice to me. I never thought Jazwares would be doing this type of figure, but it looks so cool. When they showed this, I was on the fence, but actually having it in hand, I like it. But before we take a look at the packaging, of course, subscribe if you want to. If you don't, that's totally fine. I mean, it's appreciated, but it's fine if you don't. Of course, there's my Instagrams in the description if you want to look at those as well. But again, it's fine if you don't. And looking at this box art, it's fantastic. I like the way it looks. I like the Freddy being right there on the front. You have all these little Easter eggs for Five Nights at Freddy's just kind of scattered around the box too. Love kind of the style that it's like Five Nights at Freddy's like. Love the little text here, kind of just shows you a little bit about what the figure does and what it is basically, and glowing eyes. That's a cool gimmick. I kind of like that. Endo series, pretty neat. I like it. It looks like a Minecraft kind of logo. I don't know why, it just kind of does look like that. Sides of the box and the top is kind of the most boring part of this box art, and the bottom too. The bottom's pretty boring as well. But the back of the box is actually really cool. You got Five Nights at Freddy's in this FNAF 1 office. You got the figures here, which don't look like this in person, but you could probably weather the Withered Freddy, which I might do just a little bit. But you do get part of this Endo series, the Freddy, the Bonnie, the Chica, and the Foxy. Really cool figures. All of them probably do come with their Withered version. I did see Bonnie at the store, and I was so tempted to get the Bonnie, but other priorities kind of came up, and I kind of said no. Anyways, opening up this box, it's pretty simple. I mean, you've seen unboxings before. This guy does come in a clam tray, which is nice and covered with another clam tray on top. The security office for Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is pretty disco-y, which is interesting. If you're wondering if this set has instructions to put this thing together, it does. You just kind of got to look for it. Mine was kind of hidden. I didn't think I came with any, but it's pretty simple to follow. We'll take a look at that in a second. But opening up the Freddys, I don't know, this just kind of looks odd to me. Anyways, opening up the clam tray, pretty simple stuff. You just gotta like open it, basically. I mean, it's super simple. It's nothing to really commentate about. It's simple enough. I do like it. The box is kind of, they are free floating, so I would just be careful not to like throw it across the, I don't know why you drop it. Just be careful with it. Anyways, here's the Endo. The Endo looks great. When I first saw the Endo, I was honestly kind of blown away by the details a little bit. I really like the way this Endo looks. It looks pretty accurate. I love the detailing. I love the speckling of the kind of dots everywhere. The face looks great, albeit I don't really care for the black like mouth area. I don't know, there's something about that. It just doesn't look right to me. I like the detailings overall and the mechanical stuff. I just think it looks awesome. The posability is also pretty good as well. He's got just a basic swivel at the neck, a hinge joint at the mouth, arm can go out, got a full rotation, little rotation there, rotation at the elbow, bend at the elbow, a swivel at the wrist, some up and down at the wrist as well. A very, very movable waist, being a ball joint that can go forward, back, left, and right, and of course swivels all around. Leg can go out that far. It has a pretty decent spread, which is not too bad. The hip hinges, which is crazy. You got a swivel here kind of at the hip, one a little bit lower than the hip, and a little bit at the knee. A bend at the knee, which is pretty nice, which can go back and forth, so that's pretty cool. A hinge joint at the foot, a up and down swivels all around because it's on a ball joint. Pivots, pretty cool. Pretty cool posability overall. The only thing that's holding this figure back is, I mean, he looks great, but I feel like he should have had a ball joint at the neck. I think that would have been really cool so he can look up. I think that should have been the main game. You know, I think that would have been amazing, especially have this figure in crawling poses. But we're not here for the endo, we're here for the accessories, the building the shell for this thing. The endo is cool and all, but that's not why I bought the set. It's pretty easy to follow. There are little numbers inside of each and every single part that just say stuff like FL, BL, BR, which basically means the B is back, the F is front, and then of course LR, left, right, you know, stuff like that. And numbers are just numbers. Really cool to see kind of like the whole body just kind of on display here. I think it looks awesome, but we're gonna get into this set, starting off with the original Freddy with a little bit of a montage. So I hope you guys enjoy the building process. Also, to like actually fully get this guy to transform, you have to take off the arms and the legs, or just the hand and the feet. That's basically the only things that you have to take off before you get to building the shell. Pretty interesting. You can't build around it, but I mean, it makes sense to be honest. But here's a little montage. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you enjoyed watching me struggle with that a little bit, but here is the OG Five Nights at Freddy's 1 Freddy Fazbear. And my god, this guy looks absolutely fantastic. Faztastic. I'm gonna see myself out. Anyways, this guy looks amazing. The detailing, the paintwork is honestly incredible. I am just kind of blown away that they were able to make this figure. Is it accurate? I don't believe so, but I really love the aesthetic of this guy. He just looks so cool, and it just, I don't know, there's something about it that I just absolutely love. I love the kind of cartoony look to him. He does have a little bit of scrapage on the face, but honestly, that's it. I mean, the paintwork is honestly so good. I am just kind of blown away by the sculpting of this guy. And of course, we did take a look at some other Jazwares figures. We did take a look at the toy Freddy figure, which I don't know if I'll get the whole set. I do want to get the mangled whenever I find her, but looks really good next to each other. Of course, they're not the same size. It would be really cool to see a toy Freddy in this size, so I hope they keep continuing this Endo series because this is going to be my main line. The size of these figures are a little over 6 inches. That's with the little top hat on. When you have them next to a 6-inch figure, the proportions don't look right at all, and neither does it with a NECA figure, which sucks. I would have loved it if it coincided with a NECA figure. Something as close to the Haya toys I think is a little bit more accurate, but even then, it still seems a little too big. He does have some posability. The posability is basically the same, but everything is kind of hindered, and the jaw moving up and down I think is the coolest part about this figure, which you can open and close the jaw all the way. That is so cool. I think that's the coolest part. All the other posability is pretty much the same, but there is a lot of hindrance of you know, the joints and stuff because of these armor parts being in the way. He can't really move as much as he needs to, which kind of sucks because it would have been cool to see a pose with Freddy Fazbear with his like microphone up to his face like he, you know, usually does, but he doesn't have that much elbow hinge joint at the elbow because of the armor, which sucks. And also, he doesn't come with any accessories, which is, you know, kind of interesting. But we're going through the posability process again. I'm not going to commentate over it. I don't feel like it, but it's pretty much the exact same. That's pretty much why. The feet work the exact same, even though they're different feet. And so do the hands as well. Nothing crazy going on here. I think that he does have a pretty decent amount of posability, that he can really pull off some pretty decent poses that I think would be awesome for a shelf or just some kind of photos with this figure. And I'm sure there's like some other types of posability options that, you know, I haven't even found yet. I've just been messing with this figure, and man, he's so cool. I honestly really love the look of him. And of course, the obvious comparison that you probably noticed I didn't do was the Funko one, which this one's a repaint. I had to repaint this one because the one I got was but I think it came out okay. It's a little too chocolatey looking. I don't know. It looks like a chocolate bar to me. I did a little too much on the but that's not the point. Point is, I think that this Freddy Fazbear easily beats Funko's. This was like a 25-30 buck figure, and it is two figures in one, but I think it just completely just rocks, you know, freaking Funko, and he stays together unlike Funko, because Funko likes to just kind of fall apart and disintegrate in your hand, especially the original ones. But he's just so much fun to play with. I have so much fun messing around with him. But I think my favorite look is about to be happening right now, so take a look at another montage. And getting this figure all together, we have the withered animatronic version of Freddy Fazbear. And my god, they did beautiful on this guy. You know how long I have been waiting for withered animatronics from Funko, and now that it's here from some other company, I am extremely happy. This guy is absolutely fantastic. I will say the paintwork could be a tiny bit better, but the sculpting is fantastic. I love that they changed the sculpt a lot. Like, I think almost every piece with the, you know, the scarring and of course the head sculpt, and I think the body too, is completely new sculpt. So I just am so happy with that they just didn't reuse parts. They actually went in there and added weathering in accurate spots. From what I can tell, it's pretty accurate. I really love it. I love the kind of dirtiness of it. Again, I kind of wish that it looked a little bit more like the packaging, but I can't knock the sculpt. The sculpt looks so good. You can tell the difference between a withered animatronic and the original Freddy Fazbear. And the withering is so cool. I love how the withering looks. I might go in with a little bit of dry brushing, just a tiny bit on the kind of broken parts. I think that this figure just looks, this is how I'm going to have him displayed. I'm going to have him as the withered form. Before we go, taking a look at the glow in the dark feature, which it's taking a little black light and just shining it right directly into his retinas. You can see that it's actually pretty bright. I am honestly kind of surprised with how bright it is. It was pretty fun to just mess around with, and even if you have some lights on, he still like shines pretty bright, and I'm honestly really happy about that. This figure is just so cool. I am so happy that they made this figure. I think that he's amazing. The paint, again, could be a little bit more weathered, and there is some sloppiness to the teeth. I think that's kind of like my least favorite part about this mode, is that the teeth are a little sloppy. I could do without the withering because, you know, there's a pretty decent amount of withering in there, but the teeth, yeah, I need to go in there and repaint it. But overall, what do I think of this set? I think it's a 4.9. 4.9 out of 5. I think that this thing is near perfect. There's a couple things that I kind of wish that they did. Of course, the painting could have been just a tiny bit better. Like, look how it looks on the box compared to the withered animatronic. That could have been updated, but I feel like that's something I can do myself, but I don't know. I don't know if I'll repaint them or not. Just a couple scuffs here and there. And of course, the swivel at the head. Don't really care for that. I wish it was just a ball joint that I can make them look up and down, or a hinge joint. I think a hinge joint would have been nice. But other than that, I mean, these two figures are so cool. And I'm honestly so happy that they're with Jazwares now. I was so on the fence when they first were announced by Jazwares, and now that I have them in hand, I am very happy with them, and I'm so glad that they're putting a lot of love into this series, and let's just hope it stays that way. And I hope that we see Nightmare animatronics and Phantom animatronics and almost everything from the games. I think that would be cool as a Endo series, because the Endo series I feel like is going to be my main thing, and I hope they stick with it. If they do something new, I would hope it's something on scale with NECA. But other than that, that's basically it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, of course, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Love you, love the show. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next horror review.